Friend, let me tell you something that might hurt at first, but it's the truth you need to hear, not the one you want to hear. Life doesn't always go your way. Sometimes it breaks you. Sometimes it throws you into darkness so deep you forget what light even looks like. You sit there wondering, why me? You replay every mistake, every heartbreak, every failure in your mind until you start believing maybe you deserved it. But listen carefully, this pain you're feeling right now, this chaos you're trapped in, this storm that's tearing you apart. It's not the end, it's the beginning of the version of you who stops crying and starts accepting. Because real strength, real power, real peace, it starts the moment you accept the situation. Face the reality, not the illusion, friend. Let's be honest, most people live in denial. They build fake worlds in their minds to escape the truth they don't want to face. They tell themselves everything is fine, that things will magically change, that someday life will fix itself. But the truth is, that day never comes until you stop lying to yourself. Reality doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't bend for your comfort. It doesn't pause because you're not ready. The world keeps moving with or without you, and the longer you hide from the truth, the more painful it becomes when it finally hits you. Facing reality is not easy, it's brutal. It forces you to confront your own flaws, your own mistakes, your own weakness. But that's where real growth begins. You can't fix what you refuse to face. You can't improve what you pretend doesn't exist. You have to open your eyes and look at your life exactly as it is, not as you wish it was. That's how transformation starts. When you accept your current reality, you stop wasting energy fighting what's already here. You stop asking why me, and start asking what can I learn from this. That single shift changes everything. Denial traps you in misery. Acceptance frees you from it. Because the truth may hurt once, but denial kills you slowly, day after day. Most people live their whole lives blindfolded by their own excuses. I'm unlucky. I'm not ready. I can't do this. But reality doesn't care about excuses. It rewards action. Facing reality means admitting that your comfort zone has been your cage all along. You're not stuck because the world is cruel. You're stuck because you won't admit the truth about where you are. And yes, it's scary. Because when you finally face reality, there's no one left to blame. No one to point fingers at. It's just you and the truth. But that's also where your power begins. Once you accept that no one is coming to save you, you start saving yourself. Once you accept that life is unfair, you stop waiting for fairness and start creating results. The illusion gives you comfort, but reality gives you control. Stop chasing the fantasy of an easy life and start building the strength to face a hard one. Every second you spend denying your situation is a second you could have spent changing it. Friend, stop hiding behind the illusion. Stop lying to yourself just to feel safe. The truth might burn, but it will set you free. It will force you to take responsibility, to grow, to evolve. The reality you fear is the exact foundation you need to rebuild your life. The moment you face it with courage, everything changes: your mindset, your choices, your destiny. So stand tall, look at where you are, accept it completely, and say to yourself, "This is my truth and I will rise from it." Friend, the pain you feel right now might seem endless. It might sit heavy on your chest every morning, making it hard to breathe, hard to think, hard to hope. You might look at your situation and believe that this is how it will always be, but you're wrong. Pain was never meant to last forever. It was meant to teach you something. Every ounce of suffering you feel is shaping you into someone stronger, wiser, and more unbreakable than before. The problem is, most people don't see it that way. They see pain as punishment instead of preparation. They let it break them instead of build them. But if you learn to accept your pain instead of resisting it, you'll realize it was never there to destroy you. It was there to awaken you. You see, pain is the greatest teacher life has. It strips away the lies you tell yourself. It removes the people who were never meant to stay. It exposes your weaknesses and forces you to face them. That's why the most powerful people you'll ever meet are the ones who went through the deepest pain and still chose to rise. Pain reveals your limits and then challenges you to push past them. Every scar you carry is proof that you survived something that tried to break you. It's not a mark of weakness, it's a medal of strength. Pain is the proof that you fought, that you endured, that you kept going when others quit. And that growth, that strength is permanent. It stays with you long after the pain fades. But here's the truth: you can't heal if you keep running. You can't grow if you keep numbing yourself. The more you avoid your pain, the longer it controls you. Stop trying to bury it under distractions, fake smiles, or temporary escapes. Face it, feel it, let it hurt, because once you've felt it fully, it loses its power over you. Acceptance is the key. Accept that the pain is part of your story. Accept that it's shaping you into the person you were meant to become. The moment you stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What is this trying to teach me?" your pain transforms into wisdom. Friend, nothing worth having comes without pain. Growth demands discomfort. Change demands sacrifice. You can't evolve without letting go of the version of yourself that can't handle the next level. Every struggle is a signal that you're leveling up. The pain you feel today will one day be your motivation, your reason, your story. You'll look back and realize that without it, you would have never become who you are. So don't run from it. Don't curse it. Embrace it. Accept it. Because pain is temporary, but the strength, resilience, and growth it gives you will stay forever. One day, you'll thank your pain for forcing you to become the person you were always meant to be. Friend, one of the biggest reasons people stay miserable is because they waste their energy trying to control things they never could. They fight life, they fight circumstances, they fight people, and they lose. Every time. Because the truth is, you can't control everything. You can't control who stays loyal, who betrays you, who loves you, or who leaves. You can't control what life throws your way. You can't control the timing of success or the outcome of every decision. The only thing you can control is you, your attitude, your discipline, your mindset, your response. The moment you stop trying to control the uncontrollable, you start living with peace. Because control isn't power, self-control is. So many people drain their souls fighting reality. They blame others for their problems, they replay the past, they hold grudges, and they cry over what they can't change. That's not strength, that's self-destruction. You can't move forward while dragging the weight of things you were never meant to carry. Let go of what you can't control. Accept that some things will never make sense, some people will never apologize, and some situations will never be fair. That's okay. Life doesn't owe you perfect conditions. It gives you challenges to test your reaction. You can either complain or you can conquer. You can either blame or you can build. The choice is always yours. Control what you can, your effort, your mindset, your habits. If your life is a storm, focus on building the boat, not cursing the rain. Because the rain will fall no matter what. You can't change the weather, but you can learn how to sail. Every time you waste your energy on what's beyond your reach, you weaken your ability to change what's within it. The people who rise above life's chaos are not the ones who control everything, they're the ones who control themselves when everything falls apart. When you start focusing on your reactions, everything shifts. You stop being a victim and start being a warrior. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start saying, "How can I use this?" That's the difference between people who drown in life and people who rise through it. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means being smart enough to focus on what truly matters. You can't control the outcome, but you can control your preparation. You can't control timing, but you can control your patience. You can't control others, but you can control your energy. Friend, peace doesn't come from fixing everything around you, it comes from mastering what's inside you. The world will always be chaotic, unpredictable, and unfair. But if you can remain calm, focused, and disciplined despite it all, You become unstoppable. Let go of what you can't control and take full control of yourself. That's where freedom begins, when you stop chasing control over life and start mastering control over you. Friend, there's a moment in every person's life when they hit the wall, when everything falls apart, when nothing goes according to plan, when you look around and realize the life you thought you had is gone. Most people break at that point because they think power means control. But real power doesn't come from control. It comes from acceptance. When you accept where you are truly accepted, you take back your strength. Because now you're no longer fighting reality, you're working with it. You're no longer stuck in denial or blame. You're standing face to face with truth and saying, all right, this is my situation, now let's move. That is the first spark of real power. Acceptance doesn't mean you're okay with what happened. It means you acknowledge it. You understand it's real. You stop running from it. That's what makes you powerful, not pretending everything's fine, but owning it. Pain, loss, failure, they all exist whether you like it or not. But when you accept them, you stop being their prisoner. You turn them into fuel, because the moment you accept what is, you free yourself from what was. You can't change what you refuse to face. And you can't win a fight against something you won't even admit exists. Acceptance is you standing in the fire and saying, I'm not scared anymore. You see, people confuse acceptance with weakness. They think it means surrender, but it's the opposite. Acceptance is not giving up, it's gearing up. It's preparing yourself to rise. It's saying, yes, this is my reality, but it's not my final chapter. The second you accept where you are, you can finally plan where you're going. You can't navigate out of pain while denying that you're in it. Once you accept the storm, you can learn to sail through it. Once you accept your failure, you can rebuild stronger. Once you accept your loss, you can open space for something better. Acceptance is clarity, and clarity is power. Think about it. The people who never accept their situation stay stuck. They keep waiting for luck, miracles, or someone to save them. But the ones who rise, they accept. They face it, they own it, they adapt, and they move. That's real strength. Acceptance doesn't erase pain, but it gives it meaning. It turns chaos into direction. It transforms hopelessness into strategy. And that's the kind of power most people never discover because they're too busy running from the truth. Friend, if you want power, stop pretending. Stop escaping. Stop hoping your problems will fix themselves. Look at your life, no matter how messy, no matter how broken, and accept it fully. Once you do, you'll feel a shift. Because when you accept your situation, you're no longer a victim of it, you become the master of it. That's where your power begins. Not when life gets easier, but when you decide to face it as it is and rise anyway. Friend, the biggest mistake people make is confusing where they are with who they are. They look at their situation, the failures, the struggles, the heartbreaks, and they start believing that's what defines them. But your current circumstances are just a chapter, not your entire story. You are not your pain, you are not your losses, you are not your past, you are the strength that came out of it. You are the decision to keep going when everything around you said stop. The situation you're in right now doesn't define your worth, it defines your test. And how you respond to it determines the kind of person you become. Maybe you're broke right now, maybe you're alone, misunderstood, or surrounded by chaos. That doesn't make you a failure, it makes you human. Life doesn't hand out ease, it hands out lessons. Every situation, no matter how hard, is there to shape you, not label you. The problem is, most people start believing their pain is their identity. They say, I am broken, I am unlucky, I am worthless. No, you're not. You're just going through something. The storm outside doesn't define the sky. It just passes through it. You are the sky, not the storm. The situation may shake you, but it can't take away who you truly are unless you let it. When you start separating yourself from your circumstances, everything changes. You stop making emotional decisions based on temporary moments. You stop defining your future by your current condition. The person who's broke today can be rich tomorrow. The person who's lost today can find purpose tomorrow. The person who's hurting today can inspire millions tomorrow. But that can only happen if you stop wearing your situation like a name tag. You've got to stop saying, "This is who I am," and start saying, "This is what I'm going through, and I will get through it." Life is full of seasons, and none of them last forever. Winter doesn't mean the end, it means growth is happening underground. The same goes for your struggles. Just because you can't see progress doesn't mean it's not happening. You are being refined, not ruined. Every challenge you face is carving a stronger version of you, a version that can handle the blessings you've been praying for. But if you identify too deeply with the struggle, you'll never outgrow it. You have to believe you're more than what's around you. Friend, your situation is a lesson, not a life sentence. Don't let temporary pain create a permanent mindset. Stand up, wipe your tears, and remind yourself, this is not who I am, this is just where I am. Because who you truly are is someone powerful enough to rise above any circumstance. Your identity is not your struggle. Your identity is your strength. So no matter how heavy life gets, remember, your situation may change 1,000 times, but your spirit, your will, your fire that stays unshakable, friend, listen to me carefully, life will never hand you perfection. It will hand you pain, chaos, betrayal, and uncertainty. You can spend your whole life fighting against it, or you can accept it and turn it into your weapon. Acceptance doesn't mean you stop trying. It means you stop wasting your strength on what you can't control and start focusing on what you can build. You can't rewrite the past, but you can design the future. You can't erase the scars, but you can use them as reminders of your survival. Every situation that hurt you was never sent to destroy you, it was sent to awaken the power sleeping inside you. The moment you accept your situation, life changes, the fear loses power, the pain loses grip. You start to move differently, not as a victim, but as a creator. You stop complaining and start working. You stop blaming and start becoming. Because every second you spend resisting life is a second you lose to growth. Acceptance gives you freedom, freedom to live, to evolve, to rise. Friend, you have survived too much to quit now. You've cried, you've bled, you've fallen, but you're still here. That means you still have a purpose. Don't let your situation define you. Let it refine you. Stand up, look life in the eye, and say, yes, this is my reality, but it will not be my end. Because true power doesn't come from avoiding pain, it comes from accepting it, learning from it, and using it as fuel. So, accept the situation, embrace the lesson, and rise above it. Your story isn't over, it's just beginning.